Thanks for joining us today on the Faith Ignited channel. I'm Michael Bridges, Executive Pastor of Faith Ignited, and I am with
Aaron Chivington. Glad to be here with you, Michael. Thank you.
Aaron, thank you, our Senior Pastor. We invite members of our congregation and anyone out there to send us questions. And Aaron, we've got a question to answer today. I'm going to send it your way here.
Yeah, and this one's really, sometimes our questions are more like theoretical and they're kind of out here. This one is like, hey, this is in your living room or for these people, and this is a question that we actually get from multiple kids. And I've got it enough that I thought we have to respond to this, and we have to teach our parents how to respond. And so this is one of those, hey, your kids will want to watch, your parents will want to watch, but this is a question from multiple youth to us, and really right there where the rubber meets the road.
It absolutely is. And Aaron, the question is, this person writes, I'm a teenager. I don't know that matters. At my school, I'm being told that if I do not use different pronouns with my friends, him has become her, that I do not respect that person. I believe that God created us male and female, this person writes. I want to be a good friend and still love Jesus. Should I use the pronouns that God gave them, or should I use the ones that my friend wants me to use?
Yeah, let me simply say, if you're the kid watching this, or you're a teenager and you're like, no, that's absolutely what I believe, kudos to you for saying, I do believe that God created male and female. And I know that there's someone who's going to watch this and go, yeah, but what about that one person who, and yes, there's this really rare instance that's like 0.0049% of the people. So we're talking like 1 in a million who's born with both male and female parts. And so, again, we're really talking a different scenario. And I always remind people, hey, suddenly you put an orange with our apples. Like we're talking two different things. So let me just start by getting that off the table and recognizing that God created male and female, and that the anomaly, which is a result of sin, doesn't belong in the conversation. It's a different conversation, and it needs to be handled gently. So I want to put that disclaimer in at the very beginning, because every time I get into this conversation or somebody goes, well, what about? And I always go, wait, do you really know how many people we're talking about?
And Aaron, so far you've been talking about this very small number biologically of something that has dual sex organs.
Right.
That's what you talk about so far.
Right. And so that, again, that's just a different story. Let's focus on the apples. And so the person who's writing is saying, hey, I've got friends who now want to be called him, or again, want to use male pronouns. They are biologically female, or vice versa. And so let me then say, I appreciate and love the fact that they're wrestling with this, because we teach critical thinking at Faith Ignited. We want you to kind of, hey, well, what do I do with this? How do I do with this? And I love the fact that we're going back saying, well, how do we address this from a scriptural standpoint? We want to respect and love, which is what Jesus calls us to do, but we also don't want to say, hey, out of respect and love, we jettison truth, because that's no longer love. So great job. Again, kudos to this kid. And as a parent, I've had my kids ask this. We've had multiple youth ask this, and that's how we got here. So this is kind of where I would say, there's no one rule fits all. Again, this isn't a, hey, if you do this all the time, it's going to be right. Even people who use the correct pronouns that you're asking me to use often become angry, because there's a deeper issue of hurt and pain going on that's beyond pronouns. And so I would invite you to be in a conversation, if you're a friend and you are mature enough, to say, hey, why do you want me to use the pronouns? What's going on in your life? Why are you feeling this way? And don't do it from a critical standpoint, but rather, I want to understand. I think that's so important to, first of all, just love the person. Like, let me know what's going on. Why do you want me to use him? You used to be her. Last week when we were playing on the playground, you were not a him, or again, vice versa. But really, because if we're going to love someone, we got to understand them. Again, it doesn't mean we always have to agree, but the understanding piece is crucial. So I invite you to let that person know you care enough to know their story. And once you know their story and they know you love them, there's lots more grace on both ends, I think. The other piece that I would say is I have done this in my own life, which is I choose to use their name. And the reason I say that is because in my conversations with that individual, there are very few places where I have to use him or her. It just, I know it's kind of sidestepping the issue, but for the most part, I'm rarely in a moment with you when I have to say, and he, that I couldn't replace that with Michael. And so here's how I think about it. Him and her is not something you choose. A name is something you choose, or at least your parents chose for you. And if you want to change your name to a female name or a male name, or you want to be called Mr. Perfect or the chair or whatever pronoun, because I've seen some people really have fun with this, and some people who, again, this is a deep-seated, heartfelt issue. Most of the time, I choose to just use their name.
Yes.
And it's my way of kind of sidestepping, and yeah, I still believe in truth, but I respect you enough that I'm going to use the name that you've asked me to call you, which, again, Michael, Teresa, Sarah, Bobby, whatever that name is. And that's what you, again, that's who you are as far as you identify with your name. So often I'll use that name. Now you have a note from one of our mentors, kind of distance grade Kokol, so I'll let you share that as well.
Aaron, I will, thank you. And let me just say on this issue, I really feel for the person who wrote this, and all of us, particularly our youth, because they don't want to offend the person.
Right.
But they also don't want to offend Jesus.
Right.
And we're stuck in the middle as to what do we do.
Right.
So what Greg Kokol, I believe that he says is,
he's the author of Tactics and the Reality.
Yes.
Again,
yes,
he helps us think through this stuff. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Is when you're with the person, if they ask you to refer to a certain pronoun for them, you can honor that and you can use that pronoun. However, when you're not with them, if this person was born a he, then you refer to them as he, and if they were born a she, you refer to them as she. And because that's really what you believe biologically, that people are created as male and female, and that's what they really are. And that is just his approach to trying to deal with both of these things. And it's not, I don't think that's being hypocritical. The fact is, you're not trying to be blatantly offensive to the individual. You're trying to respect them, you're trying to love them.
Right.
But that does not mean that you believe that people can change their gender just like we can change our socks.
Right.
That God did not design us that way. Right. And I would say that does show honor and respect and love, and keeps the door open for you to demonstrate that and speak with them, because we do have the truth of Christ in our hearts, and we want to share that, and we need an opportunity and a time to share that. And if we blatantly beat people over the head, we're never going to have that opportunity to be a light that shares with them what God's truth is.
Right. And that's where I think getting to know them and asking them, hey, why do you, what's behind your wanting to change your pronouns? And again, that's that friendship piece that you're not being fake. If you're a follower of Jesus, you love that person regardless of what they choose and what they say. We're commanded to love. And so I want to know you. I want to know what's going on. I want to feel your pain. I want to embrace you when you hurt. And again, even if I don't agree with why you hurt, acknowledge the fact that you do hurt, and this has led you to a place where you're making a big life decision, because nobody makes, maybe on the playground for fun, maybe there's some people who are like, hey, today I want to be him or her, but if this is a serious situation, which I'm going to assume it is, this is a situation birthed out of some events of trauma, some events of hurt, pain, some deep thought. And so again, that idea of I'm going to form a friendship, that way I can be with you and minister to you in the name of Jesus through all this in a loving, respectful way. And if they're really a friend and they see you trying, again, they're going to have grace when you mess it up. They're going to give grace to you when you don't get it right, when you accidentally slip and say the wrong thing, or and you're not doing it the way they want it to. If they're really a friend, then they're going to love you just as you love them.
And Aaron, what's the saying we have at Faith Ignited that we always go to?
Yeah. In this situation, what does love require of me? What does love require of me in this situation? Again, that's where I say we got to be really wise, caring, but also we don't have to jettison the truth.
Agree completely. Great response. Thank you. It's a very timely issue. And I also would say, if you want to discuss this more, if you're watching this and you're still uncertain as to what to do, or you think your situation is different, please feel free to reach out, contact Pastor Aaron, have a chat with them. We're here to help.
Yeah. Or send us more questions and we'll continue to try to work through them. But this was a great question. And again, we've gotten this so much because it's such a big deal in our culture. And unfortunately, I think it's popular to do now rather than most kids have really wrestled with it. I think it's become a popular thing to do. But again, I want to assume that this is a very serious situation. And I want to encourage the kids that, again, that's why are you saying this? Is it just something you're doing on the playground? Or, hey, is there really a deep heart issue that you're wrestling with? I want to be there to care for you. So I encourage the kids to take it seriously when someone says, hey, I've changed my gender today.
Indeed, absolutely. And invite them to Faith Ignited. Come and join us.
Yeah.
So we will absolutely show love to them, just like we do to every single person that comes in our door.
Yep.
No questions asked.
Yeah, we're great point there. Yeah.
Aaron, thanks for answering that, and thanks for joining us here today on the Faith Ignited channel. Check us out at www.faithignited.church. We have a brand new website. Like us on Facebook and YouTube. Send us your questions. Thanks very much.